His last words here.
Maybe get closer to him. You want to say anything to everybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhus. And my obeisances to all of you. You're all very dear to me. Thank you so much for all the love and affection that you've been sending my way. I have no way to hold it. I have no vessel in which to carry it in. But still, I am very appreciative of it. And thank you very much for sending me a love and devotion which I don't deserve. Thank you so much. Like I say, I don't have much to say. Should I say more?
Anything you want to share?
Anything I want to share? Well,
Any realizations that here you are, a man in his prime, and now you're facing.
Thank you. That was very, very helpful, Raghunath. The mentioning the death thing is very important. Yeah.
Apparently,
Apparently
for all of us.
Apparently that's the issue at hand here. All right. Well, it's very humbling to be facing, the possibility of one's death. I don't know whether or not I'm going to die soon. No one ever does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You might think you're going to.
No, you don't.
Certainly my hospice nurse thinks I'm going to. She's like, oh, well, better prepare his grave. Start scooping it out now.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm actually not going to call the mortuary because we're going to try to get him better.
And she's like,
Well, let me ask you this. Is this something that you want? Do you want to get better, or are you ready to go? Because I've seen you go back and forth.
oh no, well, I'm ready to live.
You're ready to live. That's a big one, Sridham.
Yeah.
Is that something you're ready to commit to?
Well, I like committing to life. I like living.
That's a great start.
Yeah.
It's good.
He's been talking like
Because
this
I saw
for
it with
days.
Mata. She made that commitment and then just energetically.
Yeah.
So it was funny. She made that commitment, and about 4 days later, Kosharupa sent her like $300 worth of Purium stuff, and that was the big turnaround. And we started getting her into the ocean, which she refused to do before that because it's so painful. And then that was a big one. And she accepted me force feeding her to eat more.
Yeah, I've
and
been
then
doing that to him.
Yeah.
3 meals a day.
The thing is there's a lot of power in that decision, and based on my experience with Mata, I believe that it's quite probable that we could turn things around.
I think so.
If that's what you decided you
I've
wanted
seen
to
people
do.
that have said they were like literally about to die, and they're like 65. They're like, I was gonna die. Somehow I had enough life into me, started doing yoga, started doing all this stuff, and they're like, I'm better and more fit than I was when I was a teenager.
Well, the thing is this.
It's happened.
The reason why they're considering that I'm going to die is because I have heart condition that is on what do they call that? They call that fifth stage heart failure.
Mata had that.
So basically,
I don't know if she was fifth, but I mean they gave her transition calls three times.
Yeah.
And they were going to, which is 12 to 24 hours.
Yeah. So they,
She pulled out every time.
That's awesome.
So she did great until she went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm starting to feel more confident that, but I mean it's a simple routine. It's Purium, it's the swimming, it's acupuncture,
There's a lot of
it's a little bit
medications he
massage.
has to take.
Well, that was the other thing is I
Oh,
was
he has
actually
to take-
taking her off the medications,
Yeah, that's what I was
like
considering doing.
between 60 or 80%, depending. Like I was starting to get a feel of when she needed it, and then
Yeah.
put her back on it.
That's
Even
a
the
good
heart
one.
medicines, like
No, the diuretic always.
oh yeah.
God, the diuretic is critical.
But what about like the hydralazine? Did she have that?
Unfortunately,
That
we
one
can't
I'm
take-
not.
That's the blood pressure
We
one.
cannot take
Yeah, that
off
one
the
I don't know.
diuretics, unfortunately.
No, diuretics are really important for his leg.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to see what would happen if we got him into 4 Mile, because that was actually 4 Mile was one of the primary things that transitioned her. the cold water was just so biting and painful for her.
Mm.
But I remember the first time we did it after about 5 or 6 months,
Yeah.
and she was screaming because she was 68 pounds.
Oh,
60
So we
68 pounds.
68 pounds. So we got her in the cold water for the count of 1 minute. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 60 seconds, and then when we got her out, we took her to because that's when we got the donations.
Oh, okay.
So then I had some money to work with. So then we took her to Sweet Cane. We got her the buckwheat pancakes.
Yeah.
She ate the whole thing. Then she went home, and she slept for about 17 hours.
Whoa.
And when she woke up, she was stronger and
Yeah.
had more appetite. And then the smoothie came in. And I started giving. So she went from 68 pounds to 84 pounds in 7 weeks.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
then the cold water. And then, so with Chinese medicine, they have stuff for the heart. It depends on where your organ is.
Yeah.
They can bring a organ back to health, but not if it's died. So if it's past like 70%. So those things are worth considering if that is something that you want.
Well,
It
it's
is.
definitely something that I'd like to
He was
learn.
talking about it, and I had a dream.
Oh,
that he was
well, that's
watching.
beautiful. You just made my hair stand on end. Well, then that's our prayer that we're going to send out to the devotees.
Today he said,
Now-
"I'm gonna walk today," and then
Wow,
little
this is perfect. This is the good timing then.
just to
Now
share.
let me ask you this: how much is money an issue? Like, do you have money to go and get Purium? Do you have
Yeah.
money to? You do.
Yeah,
So we don't need donations, or should we
I
ask for
do
donations?
because
So then put that page together. I'll put it with this video, and we'll put it out there.
Well, I don't want to be, what's the word? I don't want to be,
In position.
precarious.
where you're just trying to gather money,
What you're trying to do is to
I
heal.
just want to say hello and thank you to everybody. I'm not trying to, be a
No, that's what we're here for.
What's the
Yeah.
word?
You're
Your
not-
boy wants you. So this is it's really interesting to see
His
this input.
grandchildren's want. The children want.
So your son wants it for his kids.
Yeah, right.
So
He's
it's
the
a whole
best
different,
storyteller.
Uh-huh.
I'm not as good a storyteller as him. He's a way better storyteller, and the grandkids need that like a lot.
Yeah.
Little Prana was putting her hand on him, saying, "Get better, Grandpa. Heal up."
Oh, that's powerful. You just made my hair stand on end again.
Yes.
That's powerful. Oh, okay. So this is our fundraiser. You guys get it set up. We'll use this video.
All right.
His brother's coming, and his brother's a nurse.
Who's his brother?
Vaikunta Loka.
Do I know Vaikunta?
No, I don't think so.
It's his half
He's
brother.
a half brother from my father.
Yeah. Oh, from Thailand.
From my father.
No,
No,
that's his friend that moved to Thailand.
no.
His half brother's coming, and his half brother's a nurse, and he does a lot of like alternative stuff.
Beautiful.
But he is still like a full nurse.
It's really interesting though to see the dynamic with you saying you want him back.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's going back. So when I talked to Sridham, when you talked to me at Suchandra's wedding, you said, I'm ready.
I know.
And I accepted that. And I was like, okay. And that's what I was telling, with Vidugda. I was like, once people make that decision.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, well,
He's
that
been
turns.
ready for
But,
a lot of his life.
well, now this is
not like he's
changing,
ready
though.
to give up.
So, like, suddenly.
Well, gotta admit, I was very affected by the doctors and nurses.
Mm.
The
The doctors and nurses were affecting him, he said.
Uh-huh.
They're effective. They were like saying, not only are you ready, you're ready. It's your time. And, I was like, oh, wow. I guess I have a clock here now.
I see. So part of it was you prepping based upon the information that you were
But
given.
I was telling him, because he had gangrene in his leg.
No way.
Not recently. When he was a kid.
Oh, I
He
see.
had gangrene in his leg, and they were going to cut it off, but they had an experimental surgery, and his leg was just bone and hair, and they said, you're never going to walk again. And how old were you, Dad?
The sun.
He was 10, and he started walking, and his muscle built up, and he did it. And the doctor said, you're never going to walk again, and he didn't believe them. So I was like, why are you believing them now? Don't believe anything.
Yeah.
Sridham, you have your kids fighting for you now.
Right.
You have your grandkids blessing you. I'm pretty sure you're gonna. We'll have to see, but based on just the energetics of it.
Yeah.
So you guys know about my stabbing, 25 times 40 cuts.
Yeah.
So it just so happened that it was Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
So I had about between 3,000 and 4,000 devotees from around the world to pray for me. And so then somebody showed up with Purium. And then the girl from
Keep mentioning this stuff. Pure.
yeah the big that's a, it's 36 superfoods. So their philosophy is that if you give the cells massive amounts of nutrition, they'll just reproduce at a faster rate and healthier. Then we had this girl at
Is it fresh?
It's like all these
superfoods put together. So then we had this lady at Sweet Cane, and she, I was down to 7.5 pints of blood, and they couldn't sew because if I had any more leakage, then I would go into cardiac arrest, and then they couldn't give me blood for the same reason. So I said, "Give me something for blood." She came up with these 2 green-red smoothies. The next morning, I went from 7.5 to 9 pints of blood. So
you made it over a pint in a day.
Yeah, and they're like, so then when I saw her about almost 3 months later, after I got out of the hospital, I said, "What was that?" And so we tried to recreate it. She couldn't recreate it.
Oh, really?
So it was like, so I really felt that it was the prayers. And then a friend of mine, Momi, was an acupuncturist. So then she was coming and doing acupuncture, and the doctors were laughing at the speed at which my wounds were healing. They're like, "This is a special effect."
I was trying to give him acupuncture, but I mean, I have a really powerful acupuncturist.
Yeah, so for me, it made a big difference, and for Mato, is making a difference. So we can try that regimen and see if it makes it 4 miles a really big deal.
That's the thing.
That mountain mana.
We're gonna lower
visits the
his
spring
medications
water.
and stuff. I need to really understand what we're
You
doing.
need to, because sometimes they
make a
need it.
plan.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
need
just
to go.
do whatever.
For me, like I knew when to, because the nurses were coming in 4 days a week, and so they were, and so they would let me know, okay, it's getting low, and so I was like, okay, and then they would,
She said he was close to his time. Both nurses. So she's been coming almost every day.
Oh, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Except they're just like, yeah, we just want him to be comfortable in this transition, and I don't know.
So what happened? What
They
happened?
even say we're not trying to help him cure at all.
No,
We
so
can't
they
have
got.
any of that power. We
So
don't
what
have
happened
any
with
of that.
Mata was that the oxygen machine went out, so I took her to the hospital. So they cut her off because they were so pissed that I brought her back for the 4th or 5th time, and they're like, "She's supposed to die already. Like, why do you keep extending her life?" There's 3
Well,
years.
They love 3 years.
3 years. It's
They
in
love life
increments of 2
extension,
months.
but that's-
2 months is and they're like, and so then she only passed away after she was out of my care for 7 weeks. And it was like, I know it's just because they removed the diuretic. It was actually what.
Hey, so let's now turn our attention to our beloved sometime
Bima?
I was gonna say a productive for
Okay.
Vidagda's always there
I
for
just
the devotees
ordered-
in the hour of
I just ordered
need.
something for myself, but you're welcome to try it if you want. It's a natural thing, and it drains your lymph system, so it might take the swelling down. So it's a different system. Diuretics are that's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's just water. This is lymph, so that might be part of this.
There was a doctor that, the Mata, who is the wife of Bhakti. She was here today, and she was talking about a doctor, acupuncturist, who was like super powerful. He's cured people's cancer and stuff. But he talked to Dad at some point, supposedly, and Dad said he was ready for death. So then he was like, "You can't do anything at that point." But is that true?
I know it's not true, but
Yeah, I don't know what that lady was talking about.
impossible.
What was her name?
Well, this is a complete shift that from what I got, because when Sridham, when I talked to you at the wedding, you were like, "I'm ready to go. I don't have
10 years
anything
ago,
here."
though, he was like,
Let me tell
"I'm
you.
ready." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'm just
okay,
talking about
like, I'm always
Suchandra's
ready,
wedding.
like,
Just
I'm ready
He's
anytime.
like, "I got my responsibility."
We all should be ready.
Exactly.
Yeah.
well, it wasn't just ready, but he was like, "I finished my business." But I think what happened is that now you guys have come along and really made it clear to him that you really want and need
He didn't
his.
finish his business. Like, I had a kid that was around. I had a kid around the time he had a kid, and I just had Prana. And it's like when Prana is 20, if I'm gonna pass away, that's just the halfway through your life. You're a kid.
Lots
You
to
have
do.
kids. Your kids are grown up, and then you got a whole another 1 or 2 stages. and so he's gonna leave halfway
Yeah,
through.
well, the main thing was
Sridham, how can you argue with that logic?
well, the main thing is that there you gotta pay to see what was going on during each phases of that. One phase, when you talked to me, I was in severe pain.
Oh, I see.
Swollen
Uh-huh.
To the umpteenth degree,
Uh-huh.
and just ready to die because life just felt terrible to live in.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, my foot has gone down.
You're feeling better now than when we talked last?
Better now than we talked.
Wow.
I mean,
Foot has gone.
Well, this is a complete reset.
Yeah, you look much better than the last time I saw you 2
Yeah.
days ago.
Thank you.
totally.
Wow. Well, guys, I think we're onto something here.
It's
Alrighty,
good. I've been feeding him a
let's
lot,
s-
and
let's get
we're
the
switching
let's get
from
the
morphine
devotees
to methadone.
let's get the devotees prayers. Money's important not because of the financial logistics of it, but the energetics of it.
Yeah.
It's Lakshmi. Like when people give money, it's a
They
sacrifice.
really care.
So that sacrifice itself
Yeah.
has its own potency outside the buying power.
Anyway,
So like, and that, so in that first 48 hours of my stabbing, 3,000 devotees prayed.
wow.
And then the Purium showed up, the acupuncturist showed up, the smoothies showed up, and it was just like, and the doctors just couldn't believe, it's just, they're like, this is, and the doctor that I had just finished serving in Iraq, where like people are seriously blown up.
Wow. So
So to him, it wasn't a serious thing. What I had, like all the
the
stabbings,
regular doctors in Hilo would be like,
but when he saw the rate of my healing, that got his attention. So I was like, well, this is like, what's going on here?
and that's cool because you're already like kind of older. You're not like a young buck who's just gonna heal instantly. Like, so your rate of healing was fast, and that's
So
impressive.
anyway, we'll see what Krishna arranges. So we'll have like one day. We'll choose one day for all the devotees to pray,
Yeah.
and
They're
then
gonna do it at
send
the
in the
temple.
donations, and let's see what happens. But you have a Dugda. He just came with his thing. I just came with the Purium. We'll have see
Yeah.
what smoothies people
And,
can come up with.
In the future, if he gets good enough, I want to fly him to Mexico and get a doctor that's going to heal him all the way. Like, there's a million things that are possible. And I was trying to talk him into that when he was still walking around. But it was a little bit hard to convince him because he was in his daily life.
Well, I really liked the way he came to life when we started talking. I saw that with
Yeah.
Mata. So there was a number of times where we were pretty sure. Like she was dying every 6 weeks. It's like- and
I
then
remember.
like the kids would, the tenants would show up. We'd get like 5 people and they're all like talking with her. And like she would just wake up from the dead.
Yeah.
It was really,
How old was
it was-
she when she
she was 80.
passed? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She was 11 days from her 81st birthday.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what just happened with Dom here.
Okay,
Alrighty, we got
take
enough
your time
here.
by,
Yeah.
We'll have a.
This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's,
program.
Radhe Shyam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.